Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome back to AdamMcKola TV. I am Adam, and today we will be looking at Manchester United's squad. Now that we've added Sancho and Varane to it, we'll be giving ourselves a little bit of a squad report, checking out that squad depth, our best 11, etc. And at the end of this video, we will be giving it a grading. Remember, like your old school reports, A+ to F. Or a U, or whatever it is these days. Now, many of you may be familiar with those old Fs and Us, but I want you to get your grades in those comments below, and hopefully we won't be seeing many Fs and Us because you think more highly of Manchester United's squad. Now remember, this video is sponsored by Surfshark, so thank you very much to those guys for sponsoring this video. Now Surfshark, if you don't know, is a VPN. Now VPNs protect you when you are online. They're virtual private networks. So what that means is wherever you are in the world, you've all got different VPNs and IP addresses and all those kind of things. Now those that are more technically minded than me will know better about that kind of thing. But with a VPN, what you can do is bypass location restricted things. It provides you with more protection online. So you know, if you're going on open Wi-Fi's in coffee shops and things like that, you'll be afforded a little bit more security. But what I like about this Surfshark VPN is that you get to do things like change up your Netflix and get a Netflix's that's in America or in Canada or Australia or whatever, and see what those guys are watching over there. Because if you're anything like me, you spend a lot of time on Netflix just flicking, and then watching something that I've watched 100 times before because I've seen it all, I feel. So it's good for that. Also good for, you know, when you're going away on holiday, let's say you're going abroad on a sunny little holiday and you're on the beach, but at night when you're chilling, you want to check out Match of the Day because you're missing home, you've missed the games, you want to see what's going on there, but you can't log in to the BBC iPlayer. Well, with a VPN you can, because you can change your location to make them think that you are in the UK, and therefore you can watch Match of the Day through the BBC iPlayer. There's so many different things like that you can do. You can get it on your phone, on your laptop as well. So you know, when you're on Twitter and you want to watch a goal from like the French league or the German league and you get blocked by something, you're in the wrong country, mate, you can't see this goal. Well, actually, now you can, because you change your location to match that location, and now you can see the goal. So make sure you're getting on Surfshark VPN. The link is in the description below. It's surfshark.deal/McKola. With the promo code McKola, MCKOLA, you will get 83% off and 3 months for free. They're absolutely giving it away. So get on it, and thanks to those guys for supporting the channel. But anyway, let's get stuck into this video now. And we hear Manchester United are going to be moving to a more 4-3-3 formation, and that is music to my ears, as you guys have heard me on this channel so many times say, I want to see United go to a 4-3-3. And it looks like we could be doing that. So we'll bear that in mind when we do this video. We're going to go from back to front, go through our positions, see who's the best, or what I consider the best, and then use luck. We'll get to see the depth behind that. Now if you've got other, you know, alternatives or different combinations of things, you can comment them in the comments below. But generally speaking, we'll be seeing the same players, you know what I mean? So we'll be looking at our squad depth, we'll be looking at our best 11, we'll be grading it at the end, and you lot will be doing it with me as we go through this video. So we start in goal. David De Gea, for me, starts the season as number 1. Obviously, you've got the issue with Henderson being out with injury and COVID. Hopefully he gets well soon. But also, I feel we owe it to David De Gea for him to be number 1, because last season I think he was our best goalkeeper. Now that might be a surprise to many of you, and I do think Dean Henderson has many attributes that, you know, he can offer to the club. He's a fantastic goalkeeper with a great future, but we need to take our time with him. Obviously, we've got Henderson and we've got Tom Heaton behind him, and even Lee Grant as well. So we're well covered in the goalkeeping department. But David De Gea for me would be starting in our number 1 position, and he will be, you know, playing against Leeds in the first game due to COVID and things like that. He's got a big opportunity to make sure that number 1 spot is his, because if he doesn't play well for a few games, then we know what's going to happen when Dean Henderson's back. And we've also got Tom Heaton, or Heat 1 as I like to call him, who is knocking on that door as well. He ain't come here to play around, you know, Heaton, and I wouldn't be surprised if he manages to sneak a big game or two and everyone's talking about, oh, is Tommy Eaton about to become our number one? Because last year, De Gea and Dean Henderson didn't, scream out, I'm Man United's number one. They did good things at times, but not all the time. And we need to improve in goal. Hopefully De Gea improves. Hopefully Henderson improves. And Heaton isn't needed. But it's not a bad third choice. Moving on to right back. Now, this has been a topic of discussion this summer, because we've been linked with Kieran Trippier from Atletico Madrid. Now, that's seemingly gone quiet because of the price tag that Atletico Madrid have put on Kieran Trippier. Although I think we could revisit it later on in the window. Wan-Bissaka is our first choice right back. That goes without saying. But Diogo Dalot, who had a decent loan move out in Milan for AC last season, he's back at Manchester United. Now, we were seemingly trying to loan him out, and that could still happen by the time the window closes. But as it stands, Dalot's our backup for Wan-Bissaka. And I think that's a very, very good backup to have, because Diogo Dalot for me is a talent. He's got great potential, and hopefully he can fulfill that at Man United and challenge. Of course, I wouldn't mind seeing Kieran Trippier join if we did send Diogo Dalot out on loan again. But I would prefer to see Dalot given an opportunity at Manchester United, to be totally honest with you. At centre-back, we know who the main men are going to be. Do you know what I mean? It's so easy. Varane and Maguire are going to be Manchester United's centre-half partnership. Who's going to be behind them? Well, we know that too. Victor Lindelof, Eric Bailly and Phil Jones, yes, he's still here, will be those players that will be in the pecking order just behind them. Now, I do think that's a great selection of centre-backs to have. I really do. Because we've got pretty much everything there. And whilst Lindelof or Bailly haven't proven themselves as first choice alongside Maguire, they are fantastic third and fourth choices. Maguire and Varane together as well, for me, there's not many better partnerships about, at least on paper. Obviously, they have to prove it together in the Premier League, but I've got a feeling they will do just that. Centre-backs looking really good for United right now, and Varane and Maguire standing out head and shoulders above the rest. But our third and fourth choices aren't bad either. At left-back, Luke Shaw's really come of age in the last year or so, hasn't he? The confidence given to him by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, obviously the performances that he's put in himself, he deserves a lot of credit as well. Luke Shaw's been absolutely fantastic, topping it off with a goal for England after a fantastic tournament in the European Championship final. He is obviously, without doubt, Manchester United's first choice. Behind him, Alex Telles, who is injured at this moment in time, but hopefully will be back soon. You've also got Diogo Dalot, who can switch to the left-hand side if required and if we do need to go that far. But you'd imagine Luke Shaw, without injury, will be playing 40-50 games for Manchester United this season. It's going to be difficult for Alex Telles to push in and get a lot of game time. But Luke Shaw, Telles, Dalot, good depth at left-back. And you're looking at our defence, you're looking at our goalkeeper positions, provided Varane settles, provided Maguire and Shaw and Wan-Bissaka pick up where they've left off from and maybe even improve a bit, you'd fancy Manchester United's defence alongside most in the Premier League. When you look at Varane, Maguire, Shaw, that's solid, and Wan-Bissaka isn't far behind him. We know he's got the potential. In that number 6 position, now I've gone with Fred as the first choice because I think he will play more games. Matic as the second choice because I think actually in the bigger games I'd rather see Matic, but you have to protect him and you have to wrap him up in cotton wool and you have to make sure that he is available for those games because he's not getting any younger. And I'm also of the opinion, as is every other Man United fan, that we need to make a signing in this position. We've got Fred, who can play there, Matic, whose natural position is that, but he's not, getting any younger. And we've got McTominay. None of them are real sixes or going to be able to play week in, week out. And therefore, we probably need a player in that position. So you'd say, despite Fred and McTominay being decent squad players, and despite Matic being able to pull a performance out every now and then, this is the position that we really do need to strengthen because it's a key one. Now, you do hope with Varane and Maguire, being the centre-half partnership, they actually provide a platform for them to be better anyway without a new signing. But we do need a new signing there. Getting that new signing for the long-term success of Manchester United is key. even in the short term as well. I felt like we really need one this summer. There's been talk about Eduardo Camavinga, Saúl Ñíguez, Ruben Neves, etc. Will we sign one of those? It remains to be seen. Will Matic still be here at the end of the window? It remains to be seen. But that's the area where we really need to improve next. Then we go to the 2-8 positions, and I don't think many teams have better 8s than Manchester United when we look at Pogba and Bruno. Bruno, shit goal contributions left, right and centre. Paul Bill Pogba, we know all about him. Obviously, we've got to talk about his contract situation and whether he stays in the long term or not. It looks like he's going to be here at Manchester United for the next season. So we can safely put him in this 11 alongside Bruno. Then we've got in the pecking order behind them, Van der Beek, who will be knocking on that door this season. He's put a little bit more timber on. He's looking like he's ready for the challenge. He's ready for the battle. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer seems to have a good relationship with him. Van der Beek is going to come of age this year, you do feel, and he'll be challenging Pogba and Bruno for that position. You've also got Jesse Lingard, who I know the number 8 position probably isn't his most natural position, maybe pushed up further forward. But if you're looking for, you know, let's say Bruno wasn't able to play a game or something, I wouldn't mind bringing in a Jesse Lingard. You've also got Juan Mata, who could come in for Bruno, and McTominay and Fred, who can play these positions, although it's not ideal. But you saw Fred for Brazil with Casemiro behind him. It looked really good. And if Fred has that 6 behind him as well, he'll probably look a little bit better as a number 8. So we do have the options in those 8 positions. Although, when I say Fred, you're then removing one of your options in 6. Same with McTominay, same with Matic. But you're looking Pogba, Bruno, with Van der Beek just behind them, Jesse Lingard, Mata, McTominay, Fred. We've got the depth in that position. There's even Andreas Pereira about, although he'll probably end up being sold this summer. You got Jimmy Garland, Dylan Levitt, players that are coming through, Hannibal Mejbri as well. None of those players will be at Manchester United. Hannibal actually may be here. I doubt he'll go on loan, but you look around and, you know, a few of those may go on loan. But Hannibal could possibly push through as well. Maybe, if he don't go out on loan. If he does, who knows? But that's the depth in that position, and Manchester United are quite strong there. Then we'll start off on the left-hand side of that front three, and we'll go with Marcus Rashford, who is without doubt Manchester United's strongest from that position, although I think Martial can challenge him if you were going to put him there, but obviously you'll see where I've got Anthony Martial. Then you've got Lingard, James and Toto, as I said, who can play on that left-hand side position. You've also got the likes of Amad Diallo as well, although he could be going out on loan, and obviously he's better used from the right or through the middle. But Lingard, James, Martial as options on that left-hand side, if Rashford isn't available, as he isn't at the start of the season, are good choices for Manchester United. So you're looking there again in that position. Now, obviously, when you look at City and they were able to play like a Sterling and a Grealish or a Mahrez and whatever, it maybe isn't that kind of, although Rashford and Martial is that quality, but we know Martial can play through the middle too. But you look at that and there is depth there, and you'd expect Rashford, once he gets his injury sorted, to be playing for most of the season, because we've seen what kind of player he is. He'll play with a broken back, he'll play with a mashed up shoulder, he'll do whatever to put himself in the mix. Last season he got more goal contributions than he's ever got in a campaign, and he was injured for most of it. So once Rashford's back, he'll make that spot his own, but we've got players that can play there too. Then on the right hand side, you've got Jadon Sancho, obviously Manchester United's new signing. He can play on the left hand side too, so maybe I should have included him over there. But Jadon Sancho, that right winger, he's not wearing the number 7 yet. He's wearing Valencia's old 25 shirt. He'll have the number 7 next year, and it'll all look right as rain with him on that right hand side. But Jadon Sancho's coming. I'd imagine he'll play most games from that side, because you'd expect Greenwood will play there too, and he's a backup option. Amad Diallo is also an alternative. Jesse Lingard, as we know, can also pull out there if needed to, as can Daniel James, although it's not his best position. But Greenwood, Amad, Jesse Lingard if required from that position. Although if we use Jesse, I'd like to see it more centrally this season, because as we saw for West Ham, he was devastating from there. But Jadon Sancho on that right hand side, that's his spot, and we've got good backup too. I'm really excited about Amad Diallo, and as much as I'd like to see Greenwood playing through the middle, knowing he can switch over to the right and still be a threat as well is really exciting too. But Jadon Sancho coming in on the right, I think is going to create more goals for our striker. You may see Bruno's goal contributions drop off a little bit this season, because I think we're going to have more creativity in that box for our strikers, and therefore our strikers should be getting more goals. But Jadon Sancho there, Mason Greenwood, Amad Diallo, it's looking all good in that right hand side position. Then through the middle, I'm obviously going with Anthony Martial because I think he will play more games than Edinson Cavani, unless his form is as bad as it was last season. Then I think you'll see Mason Greenwood getting more game time through that central position, and we'll start to work on him with maybe an eye on bringing in Erling Haaland. But Anthony Martial, I've still got faith in him, seriously. 24 goals in the season before last, Player of the Year. He's had a full pre-season, he's come back looking fresh. I'm really hoping, and actually I'm quite excited to see what he can do alongside Jadon Sancho. And then once Rashford comes into the mix and you've got a front three that are just, you know, combining, because that's what we missed last year. Wingers that were looking to combine with their striker. We constantly missed that. Now obviously Martial missed his chances too. He had them last year, but we didn't create enough chances for our strikers too. And I think Jadon Sancho coming in changes that. Anthony Martial will get more goals this season. Edinson Cavani is a supreme backup, and I think in some games he will be first choice too, because there'll be different kinds of opposition, there'll be different types of centre-backs. Some centre-backs you'll want to drag them in and make them come high up. In other centre-backs you'll want Edinson Cavani to run him in behind. So there's different kind of, you know, horses for courses and all that kind of stuff. And then you got Mason Greenwood, as I mentioned as well, who can play through the middle. So that is Manchester United's squad depth in a nutshell. I have missed out a few players like Andreas Pereira and a few of the youngsters who will be going out on loan, and obviously things could change. We could potentially see Kieran Trippier come in and Diogo Dalot drop off this list. You could potentially see Lingard and Matic drop off this list, and maybe another midfielder come in. But as it stands with this squad, you look at it and you think key transfers required. The defensive midfield position, for sure. That's where the key transfers are required right now. You can maybe say a cover at right back as well, but I'm actually holding a little bit of hope out in terms of Diogo Dalot coming good this season for Manchester United. And then you look at other potential areas of concern. Now the goalkeeper position, we've got a lot there, we've got depth there, and on paper it looks good, but after last season you never quite know what could happen there. In DM as well, as I mentioned, we need to make a signing in that position. And up front, there's a lot of question marks to be asked. Can Cavani play week in, week out if we need him to? Hopefully we don't need him to, because Martial's banging in the goals. But can Martial get back to his goal scoring form of the season before last? And Mason Greenwood, is he the future of Manchester United's number 9? So there are a couple of areas of concern for Manchester United. But if I was to give this team, this squad, a rating, as I said, a squad report, you're looking C+, B-, maybe. B- if I'm being kind. You get in that DM and maybe you cover at fullback and you're pushing it up to a B-, you know, B+ maybe. But yeah, actually I'll go for a B-. I'll be kind, but I want to see that be a B+ at A. Manchester United should have a squad that is hitting at A+. But Varane, Sancho, they do improve this team massively, and hopefully we get to see a season where 21 is finally coming. But that is Manchester United's best 11. That is Manchester United's squad depth. That is Manchester United's grading. Let us know if you agree with all those things, and make sure you're keeping it locked to AdamMcKola TV as well. Of course, thank you to Surfshark yet again. You can download Surfshark, surfshark.deals/McKola. The promo code is MCKOLA, McKola like my name. And of course, you'll get 83% off and 3 extra months for free. They're basically giving it away. Guys, let's hope 21 is coming. But that's the squad report before the season starts. I might do another one if things change a little bit before the close of the window, but I'm confident there won't be much changes. Whether that's a good or bad thing, I don't know. See you in a bit.